This is Border Crossings. My name is Larry London, and I'll join you on today's program as we get the chance to meet with New Orleans native Karen Waldrup. On tour for her new CD, Justified, Karen exploded on social media in 2017 as her music videos have achieved over 155 million views. Karen is nominated for 2 Nashville Independent Music Awards. She's a past winner in Nashville, and her music has appeared in movies and on television. She joins us today for a live performance and discussion about her newest CD and also her plans for the future. Stay tuned for our guest, Karen Waldrup, coming up on today's Border Crossings. I'm Larry London. We welcome you to Border Crossings. On tour for a brand new album, we welcome Karen Waldrup to Washington, D.C. The new album is called Justified, and she's here in town to promote the album and meet some new fans and make some new friends. Welcome.
That's right. Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it.
It's great to have you here. Now, you're coming to us from where? Where are you from originally?
I'm originally from South Louisiana, but I live in Nashville, Tennessee now, and I got on that airplane and flew here and rushed to the station and wanted to be here with you guys and hang out today.
Thank you. Thank you so much. And I read that you changed your plans just so you could do the show.
Yes.
But while you were sitting in the airport, you wrote on social media you were sitting across or in a pew from the Grand Ole Opry or something?
Yes. I just thought that was really crazy. I was waiting for the plane, and I looked down, and I realized that I'm sitting on a Grand Ole Opry pew that they had pulled from the Grand Ole Opry and given to Southwest Airlines. And I'm like, only in Nashville. It's like, heck yeah. So I got a picture because I thought it was neat. And I asked this random guy, I'm like, hey, can you take a picture of me? So he got a picture of it. But I thought that was pretty cool. You know, Nashville is filled with a wonderful history of country music. So I'm thankful to be a part of that.
Have you performed at the Grand Ole Opry yet?
No, but I want to. That's like my thing. That's like what I want to do. It's my goal.
That's just around the corner, I'm sure.
That's right.
Now, this isn't, the new album, Justified, is not your first album. It's the first full studio album.
That's
but
right.
you put out a number of other EPs, I understand.
Yeah, so throughout my career, it's been like, playing clubs or playing restaurants or playing venues and doing whatever it took to kind of pull together whatever funding it took to make a little EP, a little 5-song thing. And this is the first time that I have a full 11-song record produced by Garth Fundis, who's a legendary producer. And it's a true collection of 11 songs that are, it's a true piece of art all in one album. And we spent all 2017 working on it. So it was not a joke. It was a lot of time, a lot of energy, a lot of fun. A lot of patience for me, but it's here, so I'm thankful for that.
And you wrote all the songs?
I wrote 9 of 11. So there's 2 songs on the record that I did not write. One of them is "I Hope You Dance," which was originally released by Leanne Womack.
Right. I remember
But that song kind of changed my life when I sang it on the internet, and so we thought it would be a nice thing for the songwriters, but also for the people who discovered me through that viral kind of my first 25 million view video to put it on the record. So that one, and then there's another one that was written by Lori McKenna, which I'm going to play today. And I didn't write that one either. So those are the only 2.
Have you talked to Leanne Womack?
I haven't gotten to meet her, and I look forward to the opportunity to do that because Mark Sanders and Tia Sellers wrote the song, and I've gotten to talk to them and talk about, the power of that song. I've never heard a song that has such rich power as "I Hope You Dance." And it's such an honor every time you sing it because you're like, it's just like, wow, this song has affected people's lives across the world. And it's a song like I've never heard. So I got to talk to Mark Sanders and get to sing with him. And I got to kind of find out about the history of the song and the book they wrote and all kinds of cool stuff about the song. But I've not gotten to meet Leanne Womack. So that's coming, I hope, as
Coming
well.
up soon, I'm sure. Another on the to-do list.
That's right.
Now, you grew up singing country music your whole life. This has been why country music? And maybe that's because of Louisiana, your roots there. Kind of country music is very popular. This has always been what your plans been for your life?
Totally. When I was really young, I loved to sing. I've been singing my whole life like any singer. We sing since we're really young. But then whenever I was about 16, I started playing guitar, and I was really inspired by the Dixie Chicks, because they had a lot of rich harmonies and kind of a folk sound and songwriter-ish sound. And that's when I started to write songs because I heard them and I was like, okay, that is really amazing and wonderful and full, and I want to create that. And so I started writing when I was 16, and then playing guitar, practicing. And then it wasn't until I was in college and I had graduated from college that I said, you know, I gotta go somewhere. You know, I went to college in the University of Southern Mississippi, of course, right? Southern school, gotta do it.
What were you studying?
Marketing.
Marketing.
And
Perfect.
honestly, that's really worked well for me because
Yes.
I've been able to apply it. You know, I could never imagined that there would be so much of that in this business, but especially with social media.
Yes.
There's
and
a
you're
lot of
very
it.
big on social media.
Thank you.
Yeah, I see you do a lot of tweeting and keeping in touch with people and posting things. That's the key thing now. So the internet's been very instrumental in your career.
Very much so.
So, you know, what do you think of the internet today and in comparison to the songwriters and singers from 20, 30 years ago that didn't have the internet? Do you think today is easier or harder than it was then?
You know, I think it's harder to be great now than it's ever been, but I think it's easier to be really good. And so for us artists that want to create music and live it in a way that's very kind of casual and fun and laid back, and it doesn't have this pressure of like perfection to it, I think it's a much better world because we're able to just put the music out there in an organic way, play it for people. You know, it doesn't always have to be this perfectly produced piece of art. It can just kind of, you know, I do a weekly series called Waldrop Wednesday, and every Wednesday I do just a one take video of me, just like I'm sitting here today, just singing a song. And these videos get anywhere between 500,000 to 30 million views a piece.
Wow.
And it's like never before in history could you just do that. Like
Right.
you could never do that before. And the power of people sharing the content is really what's helped me. You know, it's the people who hear it and they listen to it, sure, but when they share it, it's almost like they're like a cheerleader for me and for my music. And so it just kind of gets in the interwebs, and then it just keeps kind of going and going until every day. It never stops.
Have you ever thought about being an actress? Is that something that you want
That's
to
so
do?
funny you said that because we're actually working on a music video right now for a song on this record called Sometimes He Does, which I'm going to play today. And we are doing a music video in a farmhouse. It's a very country video. It's my favorite song I've ever heard in my whole life. It was written by Lori McKenna. I heard it on MySpace in Utah like 7 years ago. And I just fell in love with the song. And so flash forward, Mark Sanders with I Hope You Dance texted her and said, hey, you know, Karen Waldrop really wants Sometimes He Does. So we're filming a music video in a farmhouse, and we have an actor, and I have to act the lead role. And so that's a challenge for me, you know, because I haven't really done that much acting, but I think it's important for this song for me to really own it in order for it to get the emotional pull that the song deserves. So I'm going to do it. I'm going to just do it. We'll see how it goes.
You're on stage singing your songs that you wrote, and these are stories that you've lived or observed. There's a lot of acting there, too. There's a lot of emotion that has to come out into the songs to make the songs effective and kind of hit the mark, so to speak.
That's true.
So,
Totally true.
But,
So maybe you're right. Maybe I've been acting more than I even
acting your
realized.
whole life, and you didn't realize it. Karen Waldrop's with us, and if you wouldn't mind doing a song, we'd love to hear some live music.
Absolutely.
What's this one called?
This one's called Slow and Easy. I wrote this song with a friend of mine, Anthony Smith. I had been at a marina, and my friends had left, and they told me that we were all going to go to the marina and listen to the band. So they forgot to tell me that they left and that they weren't going to the marina to listen to the band. So here I am sitting there by myself listening to this band, and I heard them play a song which I call a belly rubbing song. It's like when couples get up and dance. And I said, I need one of those songs. So I wrote this one. It's called Slow and Easy. You're gonna touch me, you gotta know me. I like a hand that's strong and I breathe. Know that I don't fall in pieces. You gotta take the whole thing. If you're gonna touch me, you gotta know me. I like a hand that's strong and steady. If you're gonna love me, yeah, really love me, then make it slow and easy. Ooh, easy, make it slow and easy. Ooh, easy, make it slow. Just make it slow and easy.
Wow, 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 wow. Woo, whoa, gosh.
Thank you.
Goosebumps.
Thank you very
Beautiful,
much.
beautiful.
And I feel like that song was really inspired by being from South Louisiana, because South Louisiana kind of has that bluesy, soulful thing. And on the track on that song, there's a saxophone. So it's kind of a cool, weird thing for country music to have a saxophone, but the saxophone's always in style, no matter what genre and no matter when. It's always in style. So,
Wow. So who gives you inspiration? Who do you like to listen to? Who inspires that voice of yours? Wow.
thanks. You know, I do. I listen to a lot of like Otis Redding and like, Shania Twain. I'm kind of all over the map. You know, I listen to a lot of Tina Turner, Janis Joplin, Grace Potter and the Nocturnals, Miranda Lambert. You know, I don't know. I feel like I'm a little, eclectic when it comes to like my listening of music, because I can pull, I can listen to rap music and pull cool, like, wow, I love that lyrical writing or whatever. So I don't know. I think I'm just an appreciator of music and all different forms, but mainly artists who really like bring it, especially on stage. That's like what I love.
So when you're in the car or you're in the shower, might we hear you singing a Rihanna song? Or?
Yes, very much
Okay,
so.
well,
Very much. I'm like listening to Rihanna and Beyonce while I'm like getting my outfits ready and getting ready for shows and stuff. So yeah,
Wow.
and I love hip hop and R&B. So I'm kind of all over the place. But when it comes to country music, I really like the songwriter, and I like the female artist who brings it on stage, like Miranda Lambert, artists like that. So.
And you were on tour with Rodney Atkins, I read somewhere.
I opened for him. I wasn't on tour for him, but I've been blessed, to get to open for different country artists during my career. And that's really special when you get to do that, because it's almost like they let you borrow their fans for a minute. And every time, I don't take it for granted. I really appreciate that, because when you get to open for someone else, you're standing in front of their fans.
Right.
You have that one moment to really, make it count. So I love that. That's always a really great opportunity.
And it's amazing looking at all you've accomplished, 150 plus million streams and everything else that goes on in your life, and all the awards you've won and been nominated for, and you've been in the top 5 at, I think it was CMT, Country Music Television, everything that you've achieved already. And you just put out your debut studio album.
Thank you for saying that. Thanks.
I mean, that's huge. I mean, that also has to be a bit of pressure too.
Yeah, I mean it is, but more like I'm just excited, like I've been making music for so long, and I've been playing bars and scraping pennies together to make studio recordings, and now it's like it feels like the pressure's actually off, because now I have a collection of music that I'm really proud of. And music, the cool thing about music is that you make the music that you're proud of, and then you get to go out in the world and play it. And if people don't like it, then it's like, that's fine, because it's music. So it's art. So it's subjective. You can like it or you cannot. But this record is very unique when it comes to country music. I call it nostalgically new. It's like throwback country, because there's steel guitar on it, there's horns on it, but yet still lyrical country content that's fresh and new. So we went all out. I wasn't afraid to take a risk, and I think any true artist is going to do that. Is going to be themselves, and this record sounds like me. So,
well, that's great. And
if people like it or not,
Justified. Why did you decide that would be the best title to represent the big debut album?
Yeah, what a great question. I dated this guy a couple years ago, and he was in love with the teacher that worked next to them. They were dance teacher and music teacher, and she was married, and he was not. He was dating me, but I didn't know that they were in love with each other. It was really weird. But anyway,
country story.
I know, right? Right, totally a country song. But anyway, flash forward, she felt really bad, so we went out to dinner, and she paid for the wine and stuff, and we were sitting at the Cheesecake Factory, and she said, "I thought we were just friends. I thought it was just texting, but it was justified." And I was like, yes,
there it is.
That's the title.
The aha moment.
And then I went and wrote a song inspired by that idea, and then I just scratched it because I was like, nobody cares about that. People care about positive music. And so I had to write the title track of this record 3 times before I was happy. I wrote the first version, and I just couldn't. It wasn't the record song. You know, it could be for someone else or later in my life, but right now I was looking for that waving the white flag going, hey y'all, we did this in a way that's different, and from what I'm doing, it's definitely different. You know, we're taking advantage of the Spotifys and the Alexas of the world and the streaming and the Facebook live streaming, and I think if you want to be a leader, you got to go first.
Right. Well, you're at the right place at the right time.
Thanks.
And you know, like I said before, you're doing great things. And one of the things that I read was that you had a chance to sing the national anthem at a NASCAR race. Which for a singer, I mean, for the first time doing it in a large venue when you have the echo. Yes. I just read somebody forgot the lyrics. Somebody famous would, so it's got to be
so much pressure.
Yeah. There you are, NASCAR. The world is watching, and you're on.
That's right. And NASCAR was funny too because it was so loud on the track that I didn't want to talk to anybody because I knew I was about to be live on ESPN. And so everyone that saw me probably thought I was rude because I was just like ignoring them, not talking to them. But it went from super loud to super quiet and all eyes on me in 2 seconds. But it's neat. Anytime you get to sing the national anthem, it's an honor. And I try to do the melody exactly the way it was written.
And you've got a song that appeared in film too.
Yes. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. We did a Scales film. And I'm at the point where I just am willing to kind of try whatever because I'm independent. So it means I don't have a record label.
Right.
And so my support financially comes from 500,000 people that are on Facebook. So they'll support through buying merch, or they'll come to gigs, or they'll buy VIP passes, or they'll do whatever they do. But that's how I fund this. And so it's just so I'm kind of in the risky, try it, whatever, place right now in my career. It's you can kind of do whatever you want.
But you're on tour as well.
Yes.
I mean, you're promoting the new album and all of the other music you've released. So I was looking at the tour schedule, and one of the places I think is the Virgin Islands.
Yes.
What?
We're going to play the 1 year in September. We'll be playing the 1 year anniversary of the hurricane damage and helping to raise more money. And we're playing that show, and I get to go scuba diving. So I love scuba diving. So when they said Virgin Islands and you get to scuba dive, I said, all right.
You're
in. I'm in. I got it.
Karen Waldrup is our guest here on Border Crossings today. Would you do another song for us?
Absolutely. The record on pre-sale comes with a Grat track. So it's a song that comes right now. And so we decided to go with the super country track on that and give that one away first. And this one's called What Goes On in This Bar Stays in This Bar. Inspired by the phrase, what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. And it goes like this. What goes on in this bar stays in this bar. You can hank and swang and drank and sang and be just who you are. Well, that's honky-tonk amnesia. We're all sipping in a jar. What goes on in this bar stays in this bar. To this wet your whistle stop. Doctors, farmers, teachers, lawyers, criminals and cops. It's a psychotherapeutic kind of hillbilly recipe to this perfectly dysfunctional neon family. 'Cause what goes on in this bar stays in this bar. You can hank and swang and drink and sing and be just who you are. Well, that's honky-tonk about their work. Social climbers sit and sip their wine and dig up dirt. Guys on benders, lost weekenders, people drinking lunch. We all get along just fine, except we can't remember much. 'Cause what goes on in this bar stays in this bar. You can hank and swang and drink and sing and be just who you are. Well, that's honky tonk amnesia. We're all sipping in a jar. What goes on in this bar stays in this bar. Well, I've seen things make a sailor blush and a preacher lose his cool. I'd love to tell you all about it, but there's this little rule that what goes on in this bar stays in this bar. You can hank and swang and drink and sing, and you can be just who you are. That's honky tonk amnesia. We're all sipping in a jar. What goes on in this bar stays in this bar. What goes on in this bar stays right here in this bar. Woo!
Yes. Karen Waldrup here live on the Voice of America. Justified is the album. So when you're writing songs, I mean, these ideas come to you from people you're watching or your experience of what you're living or both? I mean, where do the ideas
Kind of
come from?
everything, you know. We write songs from, we'll be somewhere and we'll hear something and we'll jot it down in our notes, real quick. And then later, for me, I usually write it down real quick. And then later, I'll just have a list of ideas and then I'll sit down and write. And then sometimes God will just kind of give it to you and you'll just be like, okay, God. And you'll just sit down and just write it all right now. Like right now, no matter where you're going, you have to sit down and you have to do it. Because sometimes it just floods in. It depends. Every song's different. That song, What Goes On in This Bar Stays in This Bar, I had written it with Ed Hill and Donnie Skaggs in the middle of the country one day. And I just thought it was kind of silly. I was like, yeah, right. I'm not going to do that song probably like ever. And I hadn't even played it live. I just never played it. And I sat down with Garth Fundus and he went through my whole catalog. And when he heard it, I was like, yeah, this one we probably won't use. It's just like this silly bar song. And he's like, that song is great. What goes on in this bar stays in this bar. And so I'm like, all right. And then sure enough, it ended up being the first song we put out because we thought it would be fun to just grab people's attention, let them know that the record is positive music. It's not really that serious. It's just positive, inspirational music that makes people feel good. That was our goal. That was our mission. And I learned the power of that through what happened with I Hope You Dance. When it went viral, people were reaching out to me, telling me how much it affected their lives and how much it affected their energy and their families. And I just went, I want my record to do that. I want my record to be positive, So we didn't cut a single heartbreak song. And, I had 100 of them. We just stuck with music that would make people feel good and that would be fun to play live and just keep it simple.
Do you ever go back and look at the first song you wrote?
Oh, yeah.
And say, what was I thinking? Or, I had no experience in love and much, life, but there it is.
Yep. And my first song I ever wrote was called Sweet Kiss.
Sweet Kiss.
Sweet
Oh,
Kiss.
my goodness.
I was like 16 years old and I wrote Sweet Kiss.
Wow.
And it's sweet, it's cool. Yeah, I probably wouldn't sing that now, but
and you were on Nashville
those
Rising,
things.
right? You were a finalist, I think.
Yes, I was.
On the
Thank
TV
you.
show. Yeah. And so that whole experience must have been interesting to compete on one of those music type shows.
Yes, absolutely. And I think as an artist, you just take little steps, like I think as an artist, you kind of think when, I'm going to move to LA or I'm going to move to Nashville, or I'm going to move whatever city that you're moving. And you kind of expect it to happen in a certain way. And then it happens in such a different, unpredictable way. And then you look back and it's like each little thing was kind of its own little step, and I feel like right now we're stepping into Justified record, But yeah, I mean, just along the way, being on Bravo TV back in 2011 or whatever it was, doing the Nashville Rising Star, the connections that I made, those turned into writing connections or connections with my producer or connections with my band or whatever. And it just kind of like a snowball at the top of the hill. It just keeps rolling. And I believe that as an artist, if it's continuing to sustain itself and if it's continuing to grow, then you know you're doing the right thing.
Wow. Do you know where you were remember when you heard your first song on the radio, the first time you heard yourself?
You know what? I think it was when I was in Ireland.
Ireland.
We were in Ireland playing, and the Irish station was playing it, and I was like, oh my God. We were like out in the middle of nowhere. And that was really pretty exciting.
Do you do a lot of international touring?
I go wherever God calls me. You know, I've played in Spain. I've played in Ireland. I've played in France. I've played in Central America, Belize. Wow. I just go kind of wherever.
You get inspiration for songs from your travels?
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. And Warm in Your Sunshine is a song on this record. And I got that idea in France one day because this girl said, it's always warm when the sun shines and it's always cold when the clouds roll by. And I wrote that down. And then sure enough, when I sat down with Brett Jones, the writer of that song, he goes, no, it's always warm in your sunshine. And I was like, oh yeah, you got it. He goes, it's never cold when the clouds roll by. It's always warm. I'm like, you got it. So we kept it real positive.
You do so many different things now. And I think that, you know, that's kind of a product of the way the industry works these days. You have to be your own social media manager. You're running your own record company and your career, and you have to write songs, you have to record songs, you have to tour, and all the different things you have to do. What happens when the majors call and they say, we're going to take some of this control away? Are you going to be able to let go a little bit or no? How's that going to feel for you?
I think it's one of those things where, you know, I'm at a point where I just kind of am going, and I really do. I believe and I trust in my fan base. We call them Waldrop Worldwide. We have a gang symbol and everything. Waldrop Worldwide.
Yeah, the W's.
It's a 3, yeah. Waldrop Worldwide. And so with that rapid growth, you know, we're growing our family, I call it a family because I don't like to use the word fan. I hate that word. But our Waldrop Worldwide family is growing so much every single day that I'm just like, you know, this is the way that it was meant to happen for me. So if a major contacted me and wanted to work with me, then that would just be a whole new conversation. But right now, it's a really pleasant, positive, happy place. And people, I think, can feel it. And I think our community is really positive.
We need positivity right now.
Right?
We can use some.
Right. I think right now it's, you know, the name of the game is streaming. I mean, streaming is so huge for 2018. If you can get your fans to stream and share, that's a really strong way to grow. So that's our effort right now.
So that's the plan for the future, touring and streaming.
Yep, and singing.
and singing.
And video content every week.
You worked very hard on this album. You mentioned it took a long time. You took your time with it. So it's great that it's finally here. How did you mark the special day? How was July 13th celebrated for you?
Right. We actually had mixed and mastered this record back in January, but we really wanted that right partner to get it distributed and get it out to the world. And so we had a couple different offers. And so it took us a couple months to pick Fuel. We went with the Fuel Music is the one we went with. And we just liked them. We thought they were innovative and different. And they've proven to be, you know, doing a patriotic track and playlist. And so we just liked them. So once it became time to go with them, then it was very obvious. It was just like, okay, well, that's what we want to do. And so we looked, okay, how many weeks do we need to promote? Bam, we're going to go with July 13th. Well, then, ironically, I had you could call it a client. It's not really a client. It's a buyer that buys shows from us.
Sure.
And they happen to be in town. So they contacted and said, hey, do you guys want to go to dinner tonight? And so I'm like in the midst of my craziness. And I'm like, yes, sure, I'll meet you guys. Yeah, we'll go to dinner. So they took us to this like beautiful 5-star hotel in Nashville. And that was where I told him, I was like, well, I'm kind of using this as my celebration moment. So we celebrated with a really nice 5-star meal. And it was very much a moment that I'll never forget that night. And it was kind of random, but we celebrated.
Amazing. You know, you have, of course, the EPs, but when the first full-length studio album comes out, that's a huge monumental moment in any artist's career.
Oh, yes.
So, I mean,
congratulations. Well, we're going to celebrate for real when the record does well.
Okay. Well, it hits number 1,
That's right.
which is any day now.
That's right.
So congratulations to you on that. And as far as the touring goes, that's the plan for the future. And how about collaborations? Anybody you'd like to work with on your wish list that you haven't yet had a chance to record with or write with?
Oh, yeah. I would love to record with Aaron Lewis. I've been working on him. I'm like, come on, Aaron Lewis, come on. Do a song with me. I love his voice. I love his style. I love his tone. I love listening to him live. He's amazing.
Aaron Lewis, the rock singer?
Yeah.
From Stained, I
Yeah,
think
but
it is?
he's a country artist now.
Oh, that's true. A
Yeah.
lot of people have.
I just opened
have
for him.
converted.
That's how I know this.
Darius Rucker, many of them have come
Right.
over to the
Darius
countryside.
Rucker, super nice guy.
Yes,
Would
yeah.
love to
Had him on
collaborate with
before.
him. Shania Swain. Would love to collaborate with Shania Swain, my girl. I'm going to see her live in a couple weeks.
Wow.
So, and I do collaborations with other artists in Nashville. We do in our Waldrop Wednesday content, we do that, but they're also, artists that are up and coming. So I haven't had an opportunity to do one at that level, like working with Shania Twain.
Well, that's coming. I know it's coming. You're too good. I know it's coming. You got a great voice. And
Thank you so
tremendously
much.
talented. Karen Waldrup is in our studios. One more song. Can I squeeze one more song from
Absolutely,
you?
I would love to.
What song are you going to sing for us?
This is my favorite song from the record. This song is an honest love song. It was written by Lori McKenna, which is my favorite songwriter. And I discovered this song on MySpace in a long time ago in Utah. And I fell in love with it, and I loved it for years and years and would listen to it all the time. And I just thought it was so great. And I never dreamed that I would be able to record it. I just didn't even think it was an option. And so the fact that I got it, and the fact that it's on my record, and the fact that we're making a music video for CMT, it's really special. And the most special thing about the song is that it's so abstract that when you hear it, you're kind of at the edge of your seat, and you're kind of going, what's going on? What is going on here? You kind of don't really understand it. So you have to really listen, and that's really fun to play live because the room is quiet and you can hear a pin drop when you sing it live. And it's just really fun. And everyone's just kind of like, it's an honor every time I get to sing this song because of what it means to me, but also what I know it's doing for others when they hear it. So sometimes he does. Well, he's not listening when I tell him how my day went. He didn't notice that I've got a new dress on. He didn't walk up behind me just to kiss me in the kitchen the moment he got home. He won't tell me that I'm beautiful when I'm sitting on the bed tonight in a t-shirt with no makeup on. But I stay because sometimes he does. And sometimes he loves me more than I deserve to be loved. And sometimes he's more than a heart like mine could ever dream of. He didn't write a love letter to me on a little scrap of paper that he found in the front seat of his car. He didn't bring in backyard flowers or call me darling as we laughed at them sitting in a jar. Tonight he won't talk about the TV lights dancing in my brown eyes just before he takes me in his arms. But I stay because sometimes he does. And sometimes he loves me more than I deserve to be loved. And sometimes he's more than a heart like mine could ever, ever, ever give up. Tonight he didn't make me feel like I'm the only woman in the world. He didn't say my name in a whisper so sweet. Tonight he didn't make me forget all the trouble in my heart or teach me what the word hallelujah means. But I stay because sometimes he really does. Yes, I sometimes he does.
Wow. Karen Waldrup, that's a name we're going to be hearing a lot of in the future. Justified is the album. Where can people find you, find the album? Give us your social media sites so that people can connect with you.
Thank you so much for having me.
Oh, my gosh. Thank you for doing this. I know you changed your whole travel plan to be here, so thank you for that.
Of course. I found out I could come here, and I was like, yeah, switch the flight, whatever. Who cares what I was doing?
Please come back again.
Yeah, you can get the record at KarenWaldrop.com/store if you want an old school physical signed copy. Or if you want to stream it, you can check it out on Spotify, Alexa, iTunes, to download or to stream. It's really in all digital music stores. Anywhere, really, just Google.
And your Facebook and Twitter, so people can
my
reach
Facebook is Karen Waldrop. Just search Karen Waldrop and you can find me. Twitter, Karen Waldrop. And then Instagram is Karen Waldrop Music is my handle. And I haven't really been having fun with Instagram lately. That's kind of a new thing. I've been like the queen of Facebook for a while, but I'm really loving Instagram too these days.
Well, we love your music, and thank you very much for coming in.
Thank you very much for having me.
What a pleasure. The album is Justified. Karen Waldrop has been our guest, and this is Border Crossings on the Voice of America.